Hey everyone, Deathclock1637 here, and I'm bringing you a video on Diablo Immortal, and this is going to be probably the only thing I do on this topic. And I'm going to cover basically, why people are upset, and sort of what went on leading up to and at the con, because it got a little messy. So I know I'm kind of late on this, but I really needed some time to digest everything and get my thoughts together. So, I hope you can understand it on that level. So I'm going to leave the blog post that went up just before on my screen for you to reference, and I'm probably going to be going back to it every so often. So anyway, on to business. So we got to just before BlizzCon, and we had the initial video of the future of Diablo, and we had the floor plan and everything, and then we got this blog post, is I believe how it went. But anyway, the blog post and the video give us a lot of the same information, except the blog post went to that extra detail to say, we know what many of you are hoping for, and we can only say that good things come to those who wait, but evil things take longer. We appreciate your patience as our teams work tirelessly to create nightmarish experiences worthy of the Lord of Terror. While we won't be ready to announce all of our projects, we do intend to share some Diablo-related news with you at the show, and that's pretty important. So, this is where we kind of formed our expectations, because we thought, okay, Diablo 4 is obviously, well, at least pretty clearly from our perspective, the thing that they're saying, we know what many of you are hoping for. That's the sort of elephant in the room. But we said, okay, well, we may not be getting that, but then the community went on to hype itself up for things like a D2 remaster, a D1 remake, things like that, and hype train got rolling on sort of a different set of rails, and that's where things really started to pick up steam, because we see BlizzCon as a place where we get a lot of like PC or console reveals, and that's the biggest focus, and it's always PC first, and that's what everyone's expecting going in, and that really sets the stage for how people kind of reacted at the con and sort of after. And I've seen a lot of really negative videos about this, but again, I'm going to try and stay neutral, but also give my opinions, and I'll sort of let you know, because I came out swinging at first, and I'm also just going to apologize for what might be a very long video, so bear with me. But anyway, we got to the con, and Wyatt gets up on stage, and he says, millions of people were brought together by Diablo 3 to slay demons, and we're like, yeah, that's encouraging. And then the speech went on a little bit, and then he said that line about mobile devices, and we all just went, what? And the crowd was like, just for the first time that I've seen a BlizzCon audience, pretty silent when they said it was mobile. And people were like, a whole range of things, like confused, angry, and people went from like the extremes of super disrespectful, like the red shirt dude, which honestly was pretty cringy, honestly. A lot of people are framing him as this like super ballsy guy, and yeah, it was ballsy to do that, but for the wrong reasons completely. Like, there's no reason why someone at a product launch should hear from a fan that, oh, is this a joke? Because that's like one of the worst things you could do to someone. So, Wyatt Cheng, we are with you, and dude, it sucks that you had to go through that. Hopefully, I can cross paths with some Blizzard people, maybe at the next BlizzCon or future events, and we can hang out and do some chatting, because they seem like pretty awesome people, especially when I've interacted at least a little bit with them and the rest of the community on Twitter. So anyway, again, the room was pretty silent, and people were processing the fact that this Diablo entry was going nowhere near PC, and it was strange that they chose a main event BlizzCon to drop this on us, because again, these were all people who are pretty passionate hardcore gamers at a convention expecting a PC core franchise release. And some people were still expecting Diablo 4, because some people, a bit myself too, would have thought that, hey, this blog post means we're not getting a full announcement. We might just see like a Bethesda thing go on, where they say, okay, here's the title card for the new thing. Hold on, when it's ready, we'll give you more news. And that would have been perfect. And this is a point Riker brought up, to say that if this was coupled with just about anything else in the PC world, this would have been received a lot better, because we could have said, okay, the Switch version launched that day, we got the mobile game, that's great, and then we got thing number 3, right? Anyway, yeah, so it could have been this thing to act as a buffer, to say like, it's okay we got a mobile title, because we also got something else, and that really was not the case. So it really stands out to say that, like, why wrap it this way, and why sort of outsource this project when they were really kind of pushing a thing like Hearthstone, which is also a PC game but also has a mobile version. And why wouldn't they just keep it in-house, right? And those things are why people are angry, because we really like this game and this franchise, and we want to see it go forward, but there's a huge amount of hate that I think is only, like I said, the result of only that being the announcement, that being the only announcement of BlizzCon. That's it. So we'll see. Like I said, I do think there's still a lot of hope for Diablo, and I believe them when they say, and they were really backpedaling on this too at the con, to say that we really do have other things coming, like put on the brakes. But I mean, that's the kind of two sides we're coming in with, where the community was ready for something as like a core PC platform, but we didn't get it. But at the same time, Blizzard said, okay, we're at a PC show mostly, this is what people came for, and now we got a mobile thing at the very end of the opening ceremony, and we're like, what? Like, what is even going on here? And the community reactions continued to really pour in, and I would say Reddit and the official forums were probably the two worst places you could go, and I would strongly suggest not looking at them right now. I mean, it's not really a surprise that they came to mobile. I mean, they do want to get more people involved in Diablo, and that's a very untapped market, and fine, it's not a completely horrible idea. It was just sort of presented in a very strange sort of nonsense kind of way, at least from our point of view, right? So we see this thing again where people have spent so much money expecting a PC product, and all, you know, Cody Fingers, all we got was just a mobile announcement. So, you know, that's why we have people like Lord Fluffy who came up to the mic and said, hey, like, is this going to be mobile forever, or are we going to actually see this on PC at some point? Because you know, you could see how he was like really apprehensive about this. So, you know, I mean, that's really my thoughts on it. I obviously wasn't there to try the demo. I heard some good things about it, but from the things I've been seeing, it seems like a very typical mobile game. The controls and UI are very, very typical of a game of that type, and it doesn't seem like it would necessarily play 100% the same way, because they were in a very controlled environment. So I can't imagine that, you know, once you get off of that, that people are going to have as smooth of an experience as they would have on the floor with it, because again, they're on a local network, they didn't experience any lag, and the phones that they had could run this pretty well. You know, and we don't really have any details. Like, a lot of questions were asked about monetization or the business model in general. Didn't have any answers. People asked about when it was coming out. Didn't have any answers. People asked about, you know, classes and the lore aspect, because this is supposed to happen between Diablo 2 and 3. So there was a question at one point about what happened to the druid, which in all honesty I think is a pretty fair question, because the druid was in Diablo 2, so why wouldn't you kind of put it in there, especially since they're considering this canon and it's a lore piece, right? So it kind of looks like they're trying to fill in that lore gap between E2 and 3 with this thing, at least the first period. And I'm hoping that whatever comes out next is expanding on that, I guess, right? Because, like I said, especially if they're going to make this a core piece of the franchise, I mean, I'm not really that interested in mobile games. I know some people are, but I just don't really have the same type of interest to play them. And, you know, another part of the angry people comes from the fact that mobile games are really labeled as this cash grab, and we don't have any news about how they're going to monetize it. But, you know, I would say likely that's free to play, but again, I don't have any more information than you do, and I would say equally disappointed with what happened, and that's perfectly okay. I mean, you can be disappointed in this. I know I was, again, because there was no core PC title, no reworks, no announcement of a rework, no hint of anything. And there were actually some hidden things, like the demo area beside the Diablo 3 demo and Pelagic Retreat was a demo area for Diablo Immortal. And there was a missing panel on the schedule in the area above the cosplay competition, which was for a deep dive into Warcraft 3 Remastered. So it was kind of awkward, I would say, to go through that sequence of events where it was like, okay, now let's go to classic games. And they said, we have Warcraft 3 Remastered. And we're like, okay, so you maybe? And the answer turned out to be no, not really. And then we got again to Wyatt, who honestly was thrown out there to take quite a beating, and he honestly tried. So again, I mean, we are with you, buddy. But that was something that was tough to swallow, and I think the community at large really needs some time to calm down and get their thoughts together about this and come to a more like sensible frame of mind on this. Again, I've also heard that it plays a lot like D3, and if you like that and you like mobile games, then you'll probably like this. I don't know. I mean, again, it's very early in their development cycle, so there's a lot of questions, like I said, around why they chose to frame it this way, and there were articles that came out that said, oh, we don't know, we didn't expect everyone to be this angry, and to that I say, like, really? Like, you invited a huge group of PC nerds, especially after the Future of Diablo video, when more tickets came out, come to your convention, and you gave them a title on a platform that probably none of them either play or are very interested in. I mean, will it do well? Probably. Again, for myself, I don't play mobile games that much. I don't think that I'll really be spending any money on this. I mean, if it's free, there's a chance I might give it a try, but I mean, that's my take on it. I think it was just really awkwardly presented, and they could have had a lot more to kind of soften the blow, so to speak. And you know, it's just really an awkward time, right? I get announcing things when they're ready. I get, you know, wanting to wait, but I think there should be some reconsideration on how they communicate with us, because it doesn't seem very transparent when this type of stuff happens. And you know, a lot of like core questions aren't answerable right, when they say, okay, we have this little nugget for you, but we don't know how many classes we're adding in the future. We'll see, you know, again, we'll see. We don't know that yet, you know. So personally, playing D3, I put so many hours into it, and you know, as Brandy was saying in her interview with Riker, that they're apparently not done with D3 and that there's stuff coming. There's something coming for season 16, yet to be seen. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be playing it. I think the most likely thing is I'm going to continue my Diablo 2 grailing on my stream. And I am going to be welcoming some discussion on this tomorrow when I do stream, and just started getting your views on it. So again, this is, you know, about 20 minutes. I really just wanted to get my thoughts out there. Again, you know, do I agree with it? Not really. Will I play with it? Play it. If it's free, there's like a 50-50 chance, but I don't think there's any chance I'm going to pay money for this, and I'm not going to be doing any more content on it at all, I would say. Again, because mobile is not my main platform. So this is probably it for me on any Diablo Immortal topic. There's still a lot of really like bad sentiment out there, and all I'm gonna say is there's still hope, and just like relax. Again, there's still some things to go both ways. It's not, you know, there's no one really at fault, I would say, other than Blizzard for kind of having this expectation and then, you know, sort of seeing what happens, because again, there's a type of audience there and you didn't give them anything that they were hoping for, and this could have gone over a lot better with something that was for them as well as this. And I don't think there would have been this much review bombing and all that sort of stuff. So I'm not going to speak to any rumors that are out there. I'm not going to speak to any of the speculation. I'm not going to cover any of the, like, you know, rage videos on this. People are saying Blizzard's out of touch. To an extent, I would say, again, because of how this was framed, a little, yeah. Because it doesn't really show a connection with the audience when all you're focusing on is, oh, we have a new entry in the franchise, people are going to be excited. But then you don't stop to consider that the platform doesn't really mesh with our views. And, you know, saying that, you know, you all have phones, right? Although an awkward response about the best you can do in that situation. And, you know, from myself, as the comment was made in the second panel, very many apologies for Red Shirt Guy. He was way out of line, honestly. That's not something anyone needs to hear at a product launch. So again, in review, I still think there's hope for the franchise. I don't know when we'll be getting anything else. I don't know what's coming, but I can say for sure that, you know, Diablo 4 is a thing. I think we, as a community, we would all like to know and have that confirmation sooner than later, if not just to help ease us into the future, right? So that we can say, okay, you know, an announcement maybe six months or a year from now, maybe a little less. Hey, we have this title in the works. It's a couple of years out or whatever. I think they'll only really announce it when it's within about a year, which seems pretty reasonable. I mean, that happened with Overwatch. So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. My views are out there. Yeah, come by my stream if you want to discuss it. But again, this is really going to be the only thing I make that's core to the new mobile game. And I'll just be waiting to see what happens. So, yeah, see you later and peace.